Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we shall discuss the solution of the question paper on topic electrostatics, which was held on 22 August 2022. So I shall discuss one by one. So there are total 15 multiple choice questions and 12 2-mark question and 4 long questions. So which I shall details give the solution one by one. So first we shall start from section A, that is from multiple choice question. So in section A, first question was, in frictional electricity transfer of which quantities takes place. So I am repeating the question, in frictional electricity transfer of which quantity takes place. So we know when a body A rock with another body B, then what will happen? Then electron transfer takes place from one body to another body. That we know, that when two bodies are rubbing, then electron transfer takes place from one body to another body. And also we know electron has what? Mass and charge. So in frictional electricity, when electron transfer takes place, then along with electron, what transfer takes place? Mass transfer also takes place, and charge transfer also takes place. Why they are both transfer takes place? Because as electron transfer, electron has mass and charge, so both charge and mass will transfer. So correct option will be option C, that is both mass and charge will transfer during the frictional electricity. Then if one will ask how much mass and charge transfer during the frictional electricity, then it's simply we can calculate by formula. So how much charge will transfer? That is Q equal to N. N is the number of electron that transfer takes place from one body to another body, and E is the charge of one electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. And how much mass will transfer? That is M equal to N into mass of one electron, that is N is the number of electron that transfer takes place, M is the mass of electron, that is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. And one more thing we should know, the body which lost electron is called positive charge body. Why it's so called as positive charge body? Because there will be shortage of the electron. And the body which will gain electron is called negative charge body, because there will be excess of electrons comparative to number of protons. So is it clear? So now we will come to the second MCQ question. So what was the question? So question was, which of the following is a property of charge? So I am repeating, which of the following is a property of charge? So we know properties of charge. What are they? Basically there are 4 properties of charges. First is additive nature of charge. Additive nature of charge. Second is conservative nature of charge. And third one is quantization property of charge. And fourth one is invariance nature of charge. So these are the main 4 properties of the charges. In additive nature of charge, what it states that, so H charge are scalar quantity, charges are added algebraically. And in conservative nature of charge, what it states that so in an isolated system the total charge remain conserved or constant. And in quantization property of charges, what it states that so charge carried by a body is equal to the integral multiple of the charge of one electron, that is q equal to plus or minus ne. And in invariance nature of charge, what it states that so charge remain invariant whatever the frame of reference. So these are the main four properties of charges. So in the option, if we will see, then all the properties are there. So option D will be correct. Now we will come to the question number 3. So what it stated that what it was? So it stated that it was 1 coulomb charge has how many electrons? So I am repeating, 1 coulomb charge has how many electrons? We have to calculate how many electrons are present in 1 coulomb. So it's already given Q equal to how much? 1 coulomb, and it's asking what will be the value of N. So we know the formula Q equal to Ne. If we will put 1 coulomb in place of charge Q, and we know each what 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, then what will be happen? Then N equal to 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. It will be what? 6.625 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. So this will be the answer. So option will be A option will be correct. So then this much electron will present in charge 1 coulomb. Is it clear? Now we will come to the next multiple choice question. So it was, which one is a non-contacting electrification method? So I am repeating. So which one is a non-contacting electrification method? So this is the fourth bit of question number 1. So we know that there are basically 3 electrification methods by which a body can be charged. So what are they? So first one is by friction, and second one is what? By conduction, and third one is what? By induction. As in our classes I have already told, these first two are contacting electrification method, and third one is the only non-contacting electrification method. So then option C will be correct option. Is it clear? So now I'll come to the fifth point. It was, Coulomb force is less in which medium? I am repeating, Coulomb force is less in which medium? So first of all we should know what is the formula of Coulomb force. So it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon k q1 modulus q2 modulus by r square. If we will see, then force is indirectly proportional to the dielectric constant. If k will more, then F will be what? Less. So in our option, if we will see, water has high dielectric constant, that means force will be less in water medium. Why? Because water has high dielectric constant. What much? 80. So then option C will be correct option. Now I am coming to the sixth question. What it was? So it was, source of electric field it was asking which of the following is the source of electric field. So in our classes I have already told electric field, source of electric field what? Charge. And you should also note source of gravitational field is mass and source of magnetic field is magnetic dipole. So as in the question it was asking what is the source of electric field, it will be what? Charge. So then option B will be correct. Now I will come to the V2I question. So it was electric field inside a charge conductor is what? So we know inside a charge conductor electric field is always zero. Why electric field always zero? Because electric lines of force never passes through the conductor. So inside the conductor electric field always zero. So option A will be correct. Now I am coming to the V3I. What the question was? Angle between axial line and equatorial line of a dipole. So I am repeating the question. Angle between axial line and equatorial line of a dipole. So we know this is a dipole consisting of two charge minus q plus q. So its axial line is the line which passes through two charges and the center of the dipole. This is called axial line. And the line which passes through the center of the dipole and perpendicular to the axial line is called equatorial line. So in the question it was asking the angle between this equatorial line and axial line. What will be? This is 90 degree. So then option D will be correct. So now I will come to the next MCQ question, IX. So what is what? So dimensional formula of electric flux will be what? So we have to calculate the dimensional formula of the electric flux. So we know electric flux equal to E dot S. E is the electric field vector, S is the surface area vector. Electric field we can write force by charge. Surface area basically meter square. We know the dimension of force is what? M1 L1 T minus 2. Charge is 80. Meter square will be L square. Then what will be the dimensional formula? M1 L3 T minus 3 M minus 1. So option A will be correct. So now I will come to the next question, point X. So what it was? So it was, so Gauss law is applicable for which surface? So in the class, our class, we already discussed that Gauss law is always applicable for closed surface. Closed surface. So what Gauss law stated that? Now when a charge Q is enclosed by a closed surface, then according to Gauss law, electric flux linked with this closed surface is equal to the Q divided by epsilon naught. So option B will be correct. Now I will come to the next question, Xi. So what it was? So if a charge is placed inside a cube, then electric flux through each face is what? So there is a charge inside a cube. So let me draw a cube. So this is a cube. So a charge is placed at the center of the cube. Then it was asking electric flux link with each phase. It's simply Q by 6 epsilon naught. If it was asking electric flux link with each corner, then it will be like Q by 8 epsilon 0. If it was asking electric flux link with through each edge, then it will be Q by 12 epsilon 0. If it was asking electric flux through whole cube, then it's simply Q by epsilon. So you should remember. So as in our question, it was asking electric flux long link through each phases. This will be Q by 6 epsilon 0. So the option C will be right. Now I will come to the next question, X2y. So what it was? So it was angle between resultant electric field on axial line and dipole moment vector. So I am repeating the question. Angle between resultant electric field on axial line and dipole moment vector will be what? So in axial line, if this one is my axial line and this my observation point P, then the net resultant electric field will be along this direction. And we know also dipole moment vector H direction from negative to positive. C, resultant electric field in electric field and dipole moment vector have same direction. So then what will be the angle between them? Simply 0 degree. So then option C will be correct. Now I am coming to the next question, X3i. So what it was? So electric field due to a point charge and due to a dipole varies with distance r, h respectively. So in the classes I have already told you all. So due to a point charges, due to a point charges, electric field equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q by r square. So it simply due to point charges will be inversely proportional to the square of the distance. And due to a dipole, electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon to p by rq, or in equatorial line it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon p by rq. So simply each direct inversely proportional to the cube of the distance. So due to point charges, E inversely proportional to the r square. For a dipole, E inversely proportional to the cube of the r. So correct option will be option B. Now I will come to the next question, XIV. So what it was? So net force and torque experienced by a dipole in a uniform electric field. So I am repeating the question. Net force and torque experienced by a dipole in an uniform electric field respectively. So if this is my uniform electric field and this is my dipole, then this charge will get a force along this direction, that is plus QE, and this minus Q will get a force along this direction, that is minus QE. If we will see, this is minus QE, this is plus QE, so net force will be what? 0. But torque is P cross E, that is P sin theta. So in an uniform electric field, the net force due to a dipole is 0, but torque is P sin theta. So the correct option will be option B. Now I will go to the next question, XV. So what it was? So direction of electric lines of force and dipole moment vector. So we know that electric lines of force always start from positive charge body and ends on negative charge body. So electric lines of force has a direction from positive to negative, but in dipole moment vector it always directed from minus q charge to plus q charge. So then correct option will be option C. It is clear.